Hello everyone. Let's talk about the printer, using the printer to create pieces of unique Gluebook fodder. To start off, I want to say that yes, you can find so many images online, Pinterest, Instagram, whatever, but those images belong to other people. So I'm not suggesting that we go onto the internet and start printing out those kinds of things to use in your glue book. I mean, you can, but just keep in mind they do belong to other people. They've got copyrights on that stuff, and it is their personal stuff. So what I am suggesting is using your own stuff, using your printer to print out things that you can use in a glue book. So the first thing I have here is my printer decided to be mean to me and he ran out of ink. Actually, it stopped working altogether. And this was the last thing that it printed before it went. It started out good and then it decided it was done. So it's pretty much garbage except for the fact that I can still use pieces of this in glue books. It's just pieces of regular copy paper. I can chop it up into little bits and use it as glue book fodder. So anything that you've printed that didn't turn out right, that's smudged, that's smeared, that whatever, perfect for glue books, backgrounds, and that kind of thing. So that's just the printout. All right, so when I am suggesting, I guess I could put stuff over here. When I am suggesting printing out your own stuff, let's start with family pictures. All right. So I do print out my own photos. I've got a lot of family pictures. This is a great uncle. I print out these photos on regular copy paper, which makes them very easy to glue into glue books, but the quality isn't quite as nice as it would be on photo paper. It's still good enough. I still like the looks of regular paper. It's matte. It's not shiny like regular photo paper, and it is much easier to glue down. So this is just a little, I don't even remember what size this was, but my printer is just one of those little cheap 3-in-1s, and I've had different brands of these 3-in-1s. If you go to your printer settings and choose the size of your prints, you can get different sizes of prints. This one is, I want to say it was thumbnail or wallet size. It's on a regular piece of copy paper. I chose 4 copies of it instead of 35. If you fill the whole page, you can do, 35 of the same thing. I chose 4 copies, and so it just printed out 4. And that way I can use the rest of the paper and just keep feeding it in there and getting different photos. So I don't have 35 of the same photo. I have done that. It takes me a long time to use up that stuff. So this is my great-grandmother, Rose, and she's just a little tiny thing on regular copy paper, so I can use those in a little glue book. You don't have to use regular copy paper. This one is a piece of a page that came out of a blank book. It's got little dots on it, and I just printed out a 4x6 on that. So she's got little dots on her. Here's, I've used a piece of dictionary page, so it adds a little bit of interest, and there she is on this dictionary page. And here is the same person on coffee dyed copy paper. You can use, your kids' photos, your own photos, your childhood photos, any photos that you might find, scan into your computer and print them out. I do go to the thrift shops or antique stores and find really cheap found relatives, I guess you would call them, and do the same kind of thing. So you don't have to use your own relatives. So talking about family stuff, I have copies of my great-grandfather's letters that he wrote home. So I have scanned all of those, and I just print those out on regular copy paper. So I have writing. Of course, this is in Norwegian, but you can do this with any kind of letter. If you have a letter that somebody has written in the family or whatever, get your aunt to write something out, and then you have her handwriting, somebody that has some really cool handwriting. My grandmother used to make notebooks full of recipes that she would use, and she had really great handwriting. And I have scanned all of those, and I use those in things. I couldn't find a copy of that. Here is one of my grandmother's things. I think this is my great-grandfather's rhubarb wine recipe. I thought it was hilarious. So I just scanned the paperclip and the envelope and the recipe, and I can tear that up into little pages, little bits, and put those into my glue books. You can use any kind of letter that you might have or whatever. So I also use my photos. I used to be on Flickr. I still am on Flickr, but I don't really take a lot of still life photos anymore. But these are just my photos that I've taken, and I've copied them on book text and regular copy paper. And so I've got my own photos that I can use in glue books. And here is one of my funny faces that I copied onto a packaging label. It's a sticker, one of those little stickers. I used 4x6 size and just printed that piece of work on here, and now I've got this sticker that I can use in a glue book. So anything will work. Here's another photo I took from Oregon. It was supposed to be the whole entire thing, but it only ended up being part of it. I was trying to figure out how to print out photos, but that's one of my photos in black and white that I can use. It's just regular copy paper, easy to tear up, easy to glue in. The other thing that I like to do, I have had two different brands. When my printer decided to fail on me, I wanted a printer that wasn't very expensive. So I got the 3-in-1, another one, but I used, I've got a Canon now. I used to have an Epson. The Canon was just a little bit cheaper, but they do the same things. This is a scan. I like to put items on the scan bed and scan them, and then I've got a copy of it in my computer, and then I print it out on regular copy paper, and then I've got little bits that I can use in collage and glue books. This one I printed out on a different color paper. This one is coins. I did the same thing. I scanned these coins. I have put a piece of painted paper over them so that they had all this blue. I wouldn't do that again because I cut them out and then I end up throwing away all that blue. So I have coins. I don't have to glue in the actual coins, but they look really real. And I can change the size. I can make them bigger, make them smaller. Here's keys, watch parts. Here I've scanned a Norwegian newspaper. So It's a vintage newspaper. It's over 100 years old, so I don't have to do anything to the newspaper, but I still have a bit of it that I can use in anything. Here's some tickets that I liked. I didn't really want to use up. I just wanted copies of them, so I just scanned them, and I have the scan in my computer in a file folder that I can print out a copy of this whenever I use it up, want it again, or whatever. Here's some music. Had a piece of tape on the music. I just piled on pieces of music, printed that out. Here's some tickets that I've actually used. I used black and white with this one. They look like the real thing, except they're really thin. I don't have to separate the layers of paper out, and they glue really well, and it works. Piece of ephemera that I have that I don't really want to do anything with. I just have a copy of. I can print it out and use it. I use it in everything. And here is a piece of print out, a copy of my scavenger hunt glue book of the tickets. I copied the whole page. I took a picture of the whole page, printed it out, and then I chopped it up to use as little bits. Really easy to do. Just take a picture of something, print it out, and you can use it in anything that you're working on. So for those people that don't have books or newspapers that they can, chop up and use, I got out my Word program and just typed out a few different things in different fonts. So I kind of made up my own little thing. This one is all X's. This one is all X's in a different size. And this one is little zeros or circles, or I'm not sure what those were. But they make a really cool little pattern. So you can do, I think I've got one, a whole page with just random letters, no spaces or anything. And I can copy those out and rip them up and use some little bits of them whenever I want to. It's really a good way to get text without tearing up a book, if you're against doing that. And you can actually coffee dye them, tea dye them, so they're different colors, so they look old, whatever, anything that you want to do. And here's another one. I've written a bunch of words and done some different characters, alphabets. There's a list. I can just rip those up, cut them out, and I have little bits to use in my glue book. So you don't have to have a book to tear apart. You can actually create your own, print them out, and use them. So this is a good way to really get some unique images. Just look around your house, figure out what you want to put on your scanning bed, and go for it. Get those old photos out. Get those old letters out. Start scanning things. And no one else will have the same pictures, the same things that you have. You're going to have unique and interesting little bits to glue into your glue book. Hope this helps. Have fun doing this. It is interesting to look around and see, I'm gonna scan all these crayons, or whatever, bottle caps, or who knows what. Just scan them, and then you've got copies of them. Or take pictures of them on a background and print out those pictures in different sizes. It's a lot of fun. It is really a lot of fun to have your own little things in your glue books. So Hope this helps. Thanks for watching.